button. There we are. We're started. Yeah. So that's the power of hosting the meeting, where I can just.
If you're not 15 minutes early, no, 15 minutes early is on time. If you're on time, you're late.
Exactly. I would accept 5 minutes. You're still on time. Then once it's like you're actually there at the time it starts.
Yeah.
You're late.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you doing, man? You should have been there already. I don't. It's like I like the late thing because it shows kind of how people were raised.
Yeah.
Where it's like if that wasn't a thing, they're like, why is that a big deal? But for people that were raised with being on time is important. It's like it's a big deal. It shows just a complete disregard and lack of respect for our time together. Oh, and
my best friends when I lived in Seattle are very much that way. Like, and not, it doesn't ever come across as like a disrespectful thing intentionally, right? It's just they're kind of on their timeline and that's the way that things work. But I would be like sitting at a place waiting, and I'd be getting so fucking torqued the whole time.
Yep. And good luck going to it. I think it correlates to how warm a place is. It's like good luck going to an island that's warm and having people be on time. It's like just relax, man. It's funny. I was when I was in vacation in Thailand, and there was we were on an island, one of the islands. Oh no, this was in Bali, and one of the islands off of Bali, and and I'm waiting for this this boat to take us back to shore, and I'm like, and it's like it's not even there. It's late, and I'm like, when does the boat come? They're like, relax, man, it'll be here. Like, okay, all right. Even that was like too much stress for these island folk. I'm like, I could dig this. I could dig this a lot, but I want to get the fuck off this island and get home. And so Cyberpunk 2077,
man,
holy shit. I won't talk about the game specifically or why I love it so much. Oh, yes, I will. But I will just give an example of how great this game is that I woke up this morning and I went for a nice walk to go get some coffee and then go talk to one of my mentors and get a walk in and get some coffee in and, kind of set a bunch of birds free with one key at the same time there. And
I like that way better than killing two birds with one stone. Also,
why are we killing birds? Why we got to kill birds? First off, and if I'm going to kill a bird, it's going to be with one fucking shotgun. Okay. It's not going to be with a fucking stone. Why are we killing birds with stones? When was this phrase created? Did we not have fucking arrows at this point yet? Was this all the way back in before the Stone Age when we were like flinging fucking slingshots and stuff and hopefully hitting shit? I don't even know if the slingshot was before the arrow. How old is this phrase? But yeah, we don't need to be killing stuff. We could just set some stuff free. And that's me, trademark. That's me when I was like 10 years old with my grandma. I made that up.
That's amazing.
And I'll take credit for that. There's a bunch of stuff I stole. That one's mine. So I'm out on this walk. But before I get to the coffee place, I'm so in cyberpunk mode. I was like, I want to listen to that fucking intro music at the loading screen so bad. I'm searching for it. I'm like, yes. And then I'm like, you know what? I want the combat music. And I put that shit on, and I'm like, and it's proof that electronic music is the future. That's cyberpunk. And so then I'm getting coffee, and I'm like looking around, I'm like scanning shit, even though I don't have a scanner, right? Obviously, because I'm just a person, and this is a game. But I'm like scanning shit, and I'm just like, yeah. And then it's like really nice in the morning, like the sun is rising and stuff, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna listen to something chiller now. It's so fucking good. It has exceeded my expectations. The gameplay is awesome. The different trees that I can go into, super cool. I'll give you one guess as to where I went in the tree. I'll give you two guesses.
That's a good question. I'm going to say cool as my first guess.
Oh my God. But where in cool? Which side?
What are the two choices? Right, it's stealth and something else.
Stealth and cold blood.
Cold blood.
You fucking nailed it. And then my second priority is intelligence and hacking and shit.
Yeah.
So the idea is, and then I have stuff in blades.
Yeah.
Well, so the idea is I want to I have a little bit in stealth as well. So there's like 1 points in like almost all of the attributes that should just be in. And then at least in my opinion. And then I leveled fucking throwing knives like an idiot because I thought you get it back, but you don't get the knife back. It just disappears, which is fucking stupid.
That is.
Why does my knife disappear? Is the future knives just like when you throw something, it just because of littering?
It's disintegrate.
It's like, this is fucking stupid. I thought it'd be dope to have like a thing that I could like kill someone from a distance quietly and then like creep up, pick the knife back up. That would have been dope, but no, it disappears. It's a consumable. I didn't know that. I didn't know. But anyway, the idea is hack as much shit as I can, stealth around and kill as many people as I can before getting detected. But if I get detected, I'm gonna get up in your face
and just sword
around super fast with a fucking sword and slice it. Because you know what? You can't shoot me if I'm stabbing you in the face with a sword. Can't be throwing grenades at me. I'm stabbing you in the face with a sword. So it's all a bunch of crit stuff, right? In the cold blood and moving really fast and moving around. So if I get caught, then good luck catching me, bitch. And I'm out of there. Fucking ninja, intelligent ninja. That's basically like the like hacking ninja, which I thought would be super. And it is. It's a lot of fun.
It's, oh man, the game.
The story is so good. I don't want to go into it at all because I don't know like how far we are, like, or how far you are. And I just want I've never, like in Witcher, I didn't want to go on all these other fucking quests. This shit, I just want to go on all the tiny little quests because I want to practice my like strategies and like, okay, this is a facility and how do I fucking navigate this thing and distract as many people as possible and kill as many people as possible before they it. I've only got on one mission where I ninja'd everybody. Where I just
sick.
Fucking snapped everyone's neck, threw them in a fucking crate, right, and cleared the entire place without anyone noticing. Only one of those, and the silencer works, but they can't there can't be anyone nearby. There has to be no one nearby if you shoot someone with a silencer in the fucking head, and you have to make sure that they're like, even if I headshot them, I have to like lay a bunch of bullets into them to knock them down. But yeah, and then I inevitably like trigger something and someone finds some shit, and then it's like
it's super like I went a much more confrontational direction with my build. Like most of my points are in handguns and in actually it's pretty much handgun and body. So it's like I have lots of health and I just, if I hit you in the head, you're gonna explode.
You went the Johnny Silverhand build.
Pretty much. So. Without giving anything away, the like one, well, I'm assuming since you said that you're familiar with the one scene you actually play as him for a little bit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That was the most like, we have Keanu Reeves in our game. We're going to play this as like hard as we can. Since like everyone dies, it explodes in one shot. You can't die. You have like heinous reloading action. Like, but it was so good.
You were like so fast. It was just like tick, 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 tick. Yep. I was like, I don't even want to reload. I'm just gonna, like, I don't need to. You don't need to reload a katana, motherfucker. Yeah, exactly.
I think the biggest thing that I'm hoping games in the future take away from this game is like, the whole thing feels alive. Like all of Night City actually feels like a city. It doesn't feel like some shell environment that I'm running around in. It's like, no, these are real people doing.
It feels like a
shit.
Real place.
Yeah,
it feels like a real place.
It's fucking crazy.
Like I can't just indiscriminately run over people. It does feel like GTA a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But it's
like GTA that I care. Like to your point, I don't want to like run over people indiscriminately.
Nope.
It's a masterpiece for sure.
It's really good. And I'm only, I don't know, like a sliver of the way through.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna play it literally immediately after we get off of this call.
I was playing it right up until before this call.
I had to take a shit. I set a timer, and I was like I know this timer's gonna end soon, and I have to take a shit now, and so I have to. So I'm literally right now. I left my character staring at beginning a quest.
Yep, I have it because it's on my other computer upstairs. So I just hit the escape key. It's sitting there ready and waiting for me.
I did the same thing, hit the escape key. However, I forgot to toggle the USB. I'm on my Mac.
Oh, that's right.
And so I switched over, and before I switched over, I hit a bunch of keys, and I was like, "Shit, am I in the game right now?" As I was like, "Let me just quit it." But it's good to eat our vegetables. Not that this is like I love vegetables, but vegetables are delicious.
Yep.
So, and that's the trick, right? That's the trick. Is like. Everyone talks about discipline and fucking like doing what's uncomfortable and like fucking dude, get fucking discomfort, fucking okay, sure. But how about it's like, why don't I just make the things that are uncomfortable comfortable, and the things that don't feel good feel good? So it's like, and become like familiar and change my relationship to these things. Yeah. So this is all while like the lesser part of me would want to go, I don't even want to say lesser, but one part of me is going, let's just play Cyberpunk. It's like, let's take a moment. There's plenty of hours in the day to play Cyberpunk. Let's take a moment. Did you take Thursday and Friday off?
Just Friday.
Okay. And let's pause, do a little bit of the mentor-mentee-ship here, do the recording, talk about our weeks, and then go in and maybe do a resentment. We'll see how it goes. And then, and then play some Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I had a feeling you'd go more the body route. There's I'm going to go, I mean, there's stuff in there I want.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I want to regenerate more in combat and things like that, which I will do, which goes naturally with blades and stuff. It's really fun it's whatever play style you want. It's so fun. If you want it to be like a thief game, you can. If you want it to be like a first person shooter, you can. If you want it to be like fucking, I don't know, you're a Ninja Turtle, you can, like whatever, or a combination thereof. Yeah.
It's so good. I am so thankful to be alive in the time where video games are this fucking cool.
Just wait, man. Wait till like I can just like actually jack in and then play Cyberpunk like with my mind. Like forget it. That's a dream. That's a dream where there's no controller. It's just your brain, or maybe there is a control. I don't fucking know. Holding an actual thing. Like, dude, oh my god. Actually, I want the one where I'm actually moving around the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like I get out of it. Like, did I burn 4,000 calories and not even realize it? Holy shit!
Yeah,
holy shit! Like in it, like there's actually your heart rate up there, and your heart rate is actually part of the game, and you've got to chill the fuck out, right? If you're freaking the fuck out, and there's all this shit, you have to calm down. You got to calm.
Except if you're playing Doom Eternal, and the higher your heart rate gets, the better your character is.
Yes, the music pumps up, like, and the faster your character can go, the faster you run. Yeah. Right. And obviously, you can like put it on a gradient, right? So if you're in less shape, like like maybe if it's like I'm walking faster, that means like I'm whatever it is. Or if you're in great shape, it's like you're on that like treadmill that keeps you in place, and you're just fucking dude. Like I think video games will solve like physical fitness. I think it will when the technology gets good enough, because I can just playing Beat Saber. I could play Beat Saber for like 2 hours.
Yeah. And
it's like, holy shit. Did I just do 2 hours of cardio? And like, yes, you did. Absolutely. You did.
That was part of how I got into exercise as a really little kid was DDR. I would play DDR for fucking hours.
You don't see any fat kids that are good at DDR. I'll tell you that much. Possible. You like on the back, like holding it, and like.
Oh, I had one at home.
Dude, oh, nice.
Not like the I had the pad.
Yeah.
But then if you sent me to an arcade, 100% I was the kid with this fucking hands on the thing, so I could just jump my feet around. Like I went so hard at that game.
It's a great game. All those games that get you moving around are super awesome. They're really fun, and I think video games will solve the fitness crisis, because it'll just make fitness so insanely fun that it's like anyone can just plug in and just play the game and just work out and get a sweat on. And And the only thing is like the VR goggles get all nasty with my sweat. And it's like,
Oh, life is so hard.
I know, it's so rough. It's so rough. So, yes, Cyberpunk 2077, amazing.
I will caveat it. Do not buy the console version. I bought it. I bought the PS4 version on my PS5 initially because I'm like, oh, I want the free PS5 upgrade someday, which I will still get. But they should not have released that game on console yet. It's not ready.
It's not. Is it just look shitty?
It looks like booty.
Oh,
it looks like, I'd say it looks like a PS3 game
Mm-hmm.
at best.
Yeah, because the PC game looks amazing.
It
looks so
it's
good.
stupid. The ray tracing is like, I can't. My computer can almost always run the Psycho ray tracing setting, but if I'm in like a super densely populated area, my frames dip pretty hard when I'm doing that. But dude, I mean, the lighting looks like real life. It's ridiculous.
It looks really good. I turned stuff down.
Yeah.
Because it was too slow.
Yeah.
The defaults, like when it detected my system settings, it went to ultra, which I think was a mistake. I think that was a bug.
You've got a 1080, right? 1080 Ti or
no, I'm a Radeon AMD guy, all the way through.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have an AMD graphics card too. I forgot about that.
Yep. And it's not that they're not like, they were like awesome last year.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever was dope last year is what I got. So it's not like the most powerful shit. And it also had to fit into a
micro case
mini ATX. Yeah. So, which it barely fit. It fucking barely fit.
Oh, yeah, dude. My 2070, I have like a full size case, and I don't remember which variant of the 2070 Super I got. Like, because there's different companies that like build on top of NVIDIA's thing, right? But it's probably about as wide as my MacBook. It's close to 15 inches, like 12 to 15
big.
inches. It's
huge.
It's
big. I mean, yeah, even mine is big, right?
Yeah.
But and like the PC part picker was like, this will fit, and they were right, but it was like
super tight,
fucking super tight. I'm like, am I gonna break this card in here? PC parts are more resilient, like than I give. I kind of treat them daintily, and then sometimes you just gotta fucking like fucking get that shit in there, and it goes. I had to upgrade my SSD.
Yeah.
Because I was running out of, I'm like, I have to keep uninstalling games from Steam because I'm running out of space. So I got a terabyte. That shouldn't be a problem now.
Yeah.
Then I have 1.5 terabytes.
Especially like solid state drives are so cheap now.
Terabyte's $100.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's insane. And it's this big.
I have my main solid state is one of the NVMe ones that's like the size of a USB drive. And it's stupid. It's 500 gigs, and the read write is something absurd. It's like 500 megabytes a second or something like that.
It's amazing. There's no need for a spinning disk anymore.
Nope.
There's literally no need. Now that they're cheap, they're just so inexpensive. So yeah, that's good to know. I would have never bought the game on console anyway, just because I'm a PC gamer. So I'm a real gamer, so I don't have those games on. But there are some games that are better on console for sure.
Yeah. Yes, that is true.
Because sometimes the controls are like, you can just do some cool shit with the controller.
Yeah.
But you can also get a controller for the PC. So it's not all keyboard and mouse, unless you're a noob. But whatever, that's fine if you need a controller. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Do what you love. That's console gaming, sure. PC gaming, whatever. If it's the Switch, awesome. Games are cool. So, all right, besides Cyberpunk 2077, tell me about your week. What does your routine look like this week?
I spent some time in bed when I wake up, just thinking about stuff that's cool, stuff I appreciate. Snuggle the dog for a little bit.
Stuff that's cool. What's cool besides Cyberpunk?
Man, a lot of things. I mean, everything.
I mean, that's true. Everything is cool, even the not cool stuff.
But I thought a lot of this week about like my tattoo artist and my tattoo in general. Like I'm really, really stoked with how that's coming out.
It does look sick, man. It looks really good. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the coloring. I love that it's a fucking like fantasy dragon with like, it's like super awesome. You're just missing like some Japanese lettering around your like a tribal, you know.
Oh yeah, just get a little tribal band right through the
Yeah,
middle.
just be like, you know, no peace without death or whatever. Like,
it's funny. I was filling out the waiver like this last tattoo appointment, and there's a section in the waiver that's like, if you've requested foreign character tattoos, your artist is not responsible for what the picture you showed them may or may not mean.
exactly. Yeah, I love that. I don't fucking speak Japanese, dude. So I like you. I'm gonna draw what you bring me.
Yeah, I've been reflecting a lot on like how fucking crazy good food freedom feels. Like it's become so effortless at this point.
It's pretty nice, man.
It's insane.
It's pretty nice.
And yeah, I think about those things.
Why don't you explain what that means to people?
So just being free of, I'll frame it in my experience, like prior to when I was bodybuilding, and then like for a couple years after I got out, I would say.
When did you get out?
Shortly after we started working together, right? Because I think I was like we were like 3 or 4 months in, and I tried it for a little bit again. So it's been almost 3 years, probably 2.5 years, something like that. 2 years. No, like 2 years. It would have been, yeah, about 2. So
sounds about right.
I would say up until probably 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, from the time I was bodybuilding until then, I don't know, probably 60 to 70% of the like latent just running software in my brain was about food or my body in some way. And like, what am I going to eat? Is this going to be okay? How have I earned this today? Do I need to go like fix things after I eat this? And I'm not going to say that I never think about it anymore. But I would say it's less than 5% of the time. So just like as an example, I was hanging out with my family yesterday. We went to go get a Christmas tree and do all that stuff. I had worked out earlier in the day, and especially like when I used to lift, like the whole day was centered around like, what did I eat before I lifted? What I'm going to eat after? How am I going to like space my protein out throughout the day to get as many gains as possible and all that stuff. And man, I just like didn't think about it at all. It got to the point where it was like 5 or 6 at night. We'd been hanging out, and like they were like, "Hey, we're gonna order some pizza and stuff. Like, what do you want?" And I'm like, "Pizza sounds fantastic. I would love to have some pizza." And like had a couple slices of pizza, had some salad because I love my vegetables, and like I just didn't even fucking think about it. And now it's almost exclusively guided by like, how do I want to feel when I'm eating and like after. And I think about all the time Shelby, which for those who don't know, we've talked about her before, but like a food coach that you and I both used, like that, the goal of eating is to feel better than before I started, right? Like I think about that all the time. And of course I fuck that up sometimes, right? Like, and sometimes it's worth it to fuck it up. Like sometimes food's just fucking awesome. And I don't feel super good after. But yeah, just like, I just don't think about it, man.
Yeah. If your experience is anything like mine with anything that any kind of behavior or thought pattern that I've tried to shift or change, is it never goes to zero.
Yeah.
But it gets really close.
Yeah.
So it's asymptotic to zero, but never actually touches zero. So like with drinking, it was like thinking about it every day and like obsessing over it every day, to I will randomly a couple of times a year be like, a drink sounds nice. That will just come out of the blue. Much like much like, and I didn't, then I pay it no mind. I'm like, you're hysterical. That's a really funny thought. You're, that's really silly. Um, but it's, yeah. And so the frequency, the intensity, the duration just gets, it's like, okay, so we go from every day really intensely to twice a year. So that's in a very, very, like very, very small intensity to where it's like not even it's like, it's like, I don't want to brush my teeth. I'm just going to brush my teeth. There's like no resistance whatsoever. It's like, I'm just going to do it. And so, if we were to take that, that's literally, so 2 over 365, whatever that percentage is. So that's less. So that's a fraction of 1%, but then factoring in the intensity as well, that's a fraction of 1%, right? Just to put some sort of quantitative metric on it. It's just so small comparatively. And it's like, and generally it kind of looks, it does look like logarithmically asymptotic, because it's not like these tiny gradual, like it's these big, once I make the shift, it's like, whoosh, yep. And then I'm like, oh, it's at like 5%. And then it goes down all the way into the like fractions of a percentage land. So it's like big drop, and then kind of levels off over time once we kind of make the shift. So I guess it's like more of an S than,
yeah.
At least that's my experience.
I completely agree.
And that's with anything. That was with quitting smoking. That was with drinking. That was with food stuff. That was with, you name it. Self-esteem things, suicidal thoughts, like you name it. That's been my experience. It's just getting over that initial hump, and whatever it takes, whatever mental gymnastics I've got to do. Like for me, that like aha moment was the feeling better after eating. The pendulum reduction, which is like, I don't have to go into these feast or famine modes where it's like I'm either 100% or I'm 0% on the way that I'm eating. It's like I take my time, I enjoy my food, and I have what I want. It's basically it. I know when I want. I take 2 meals during the weekend for indulgences. So if there's anything I've been craving, I just have those things. And it's like, oh man, okay. If I have them on Wednesday, I can have them too. Yep. And I'm like, I can have that on Friday if I still want it, or I can have that on Saturday if I still want it. And then what happens is generally it's like I get to the indulgent days and I don't even want them. Yep. But then I have them anyway. Be like, just do it. And just to prove to myself that I can have these things. And
I think that exercise for me has been so useful, especially when I first started before I had Shelby. That was kind of my approach, right? It's like, I almost went to the opposite extreme of like the full limitation that I was on before. It's like, you can eat whatever you want to at any point, as much as you want, as often as you want. And that does get to a point where it feels like poop. Like that's just not fun after a while, but it's super useful in retraining my mind and retraining my body. And like, you're going to be fucking fine if you eat these things, or if you don't, like it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It really doesn't. So, and it just like, and freeing my mind up to just be like, you can have whatever you want, gets me out of that kind of extreme thinking, and that like, I've got to be like perfect or it's not worth like eating well. It's bizarre. It's the weirdest thing. It's such a weird mindset to have. It like, it seems illogical, but it makes total sense in the moment. Oh, what else? So that's huge. I just want to acknowledge like that was a really big monster for you for a long time. It seems like you're getting some relief now. Should that shift at any point, that's also fine. I just want this to be evidence for future times when you might be struggling with it.
Yeah,
where it's like, absolutely. Oh, there's huge swaths of time where this wasn't a thing,
which is so useful to be able to fall. Like, I don't even want to use the term fall back on, but to remind myself of, to have that evidence is really useful if stuff ever does pop up.
That's one of the useful things for this work together, is just reminding ourselves like how far we've come and all the stuff that we've done, right? And it's because if I'm in the moment and really not feeling that great, my mind can say all sorts of funny things, like it's never this or always that or blah 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 blah. But really, it's like this fleeting moment that I'm feeling weird right then and there, and then it goes away. Like the next day, I do 10 burpees and I have some coffee, and like life is fine. It's like, oh, okay, I forgot. Life is pretty fucking awesome.
Yep.
Oops, my bad. I just needed some caffeine.
And some caffeine and some movement, man. That's like, I didn't really exercise much at all this week. Obviously, with my tattoo, like priority on that is I want it to look good, heal right. Which my arm, I don't know if it's my arm or my whole body, but it's like, fuck you, dude. I don't like tattoos. I don't like ink in my system. Like I have a really hard time healing tattoos.
I mean, yeah, we're not designed to be injected with ink like a million times with a tiny needle. Like,
no, we are not.
I don't think we evolved for that.
No, but yeah, I have a harder time, at least according to my artist, based on who he works with. My skin is harder to work with than many other people. So it's been a week of like chilling, not moving a lot, which that in and of itself, to not only be okay with that, but like it was actually really nice for a few days. It's like, no, I'm good. If I don't move around in a super vigorous fashion, like I still felt great. I still had a really enjoyable week.
I do not do anything on Sunday now. I do nothing.
Yeah.
I do nothing. Like if I go for a walk, sure, whatever. Yeah. But I will like, it's not because I'm getting like, oh, I'm going to get some non-exercise physical activities to help with recovery. No, I just don't do anything. Yeah. And if I don't want to exercise that day, I fucking don't do anything. Yeah. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not doing anything. Yeah. And then my body will be like, please move around. Please. I hadn't done a HIIT workout in a long time. And then my body, Friday, my body was like, please move really hard for like 12 minutes. Yeah. Please. I want you to do this to me. And I'm like, okay. Yep. Here you go, bud.
That was me yesterday. Like I hadn't lifted a weight in probably like 2 months. And I woke up and my body was just like, dude, please, for the love of God, go move something heavy. Like
exactly.
And so I went and I did squats, and now I can't sit or stand very well today because when you haven't lifted in a long time, you get real sore.
It's true.
Real sore.
It's very true.
But it felt so good.
I get that for like a week, and then I'm like Wolverine, and then I literally never get sore again.
I'm the exact same way.
I literally never get sore. You could fucking throw anything. I could work out. I could do like 3 hero workouts in a day, and I won't get sore. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it manifests more as an energy level thing for me the next day. Like I won't be sore, but I might feel like a little bit different energy wise.
For sure. I definitely know when I'm doing quote unquote too much. Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna pause real quick. All right, and we're back.
Thank you for the short intermission.
Our regularly scheduled programming. And all right, what else from the week do you want to bring up?
Yeah, man, it was actually on the note of hanging out with my parents yesterday. We had
for Christmas tree stuff.
Yep. We had some really, really cool conversations that I'd never had with my folks before. And the subject came up of like, so my parents are in marriage counseling right now, not because like shit's hitting the fan, but because they want to keep working on things.
I think it's funny you have to provide that caveat.
Yeah.
But it's like, I have a therapist.
Yeah.
I have a therapist, and it's not because like, oh my God, I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
No, it's mental. It's like, I brush my teeth every day. Why? Because I don't want my teeth to fucking rot. Yeah. I have a therapist. Why? Because I want to maintain and expand my state of mental health.
Yep.
So generally we think of mental healthy things like only when shit is really bad.
Yep.
It's like, no, this is just like going and it's maintenance. I don't like the word maintenance because that implies just like I'm fixing some old thing. It's expansion.
Yep.
It's like improvement. Getting better. It's like exercise.
Absolutely.
It's exercising the mind. It is the practice for the mind. So why not do that for your relationship?
100% agree.
Continue.
100% agree. So yeah, I think it is.
That's what we do. That's literally why
absolutely.
we're here, right? It's
absolutely.
The mind stuff is so funny. It's so much of psychology is just dedicated to like repairing sickness or illness. It's not like making people more healthy. Like that's the same thing with medicine, right? It's about repairing illness, not making people who are healthy feel better. There's very little of that, and then that's when you get into kind of like a snake oily shit. And there's a huge industry dedicated to
very
like,
large.
Oh, yeah, you want to feel even better? Yeah, fucking do this. Wake up at fucking 4 a.m. Go crush it. Fucking Gary Vaynerchuk. Fucking own your life. Blah blah blah. I took my family's $1 million business and I made it into a more million. Congratulations. I'm happy for you.
Oh man, yes. And like, so we talked a lot about my dad's thinking about Dad, I hope you don't mind me sharing this if you happen to still be listening. But he's thinking about reducing his SSRIs for the first time in his adult life. And which I'm super proud of him. That's a really hard decision to make after, a couple decades of increasing doses on those things. But the thing that he said and that I was really cool is he was like, yeah, I look at you and I look at you as somebody who has like more or less mastered this thing. And like, I don't believe that about myself at all. Like I am not at the top of the hill, nor do I ever plan to be. And I have developed an ability to sit with my mind and be at peace with my mind in a way that I'm very proud of and that consistently feels very good.
Give yourself some credit. Okay. Yeah. So if you're waking up most every day and feeling content with your life, you are, and it's not a contest, but you are the exception to what normal people feel on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
So I don't like the term master. It brings up all this other crazy shit, but you are the master of your mind at that point. Because it's not an accident.
No.
Right? It's not like we just lucked into feeling this way on a consistent basis. This is a process and a practice. And so, yeah, I like your humility there for sure, but let's give yourself some credit. You're doing really good work.
Thank you, sir.
And there's a reason you're feeling this way. And like so much so that other people outside of your life or outside of yourself are recognizing it and being like, whoa, wait a second, this guy's doing something. And the thing I'm doing, like I'm doing what all these doctors are telling me to do, which by all means do what your doctor tells you to do. This is not medical advice, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's just not working the way I want it to. Right. It might be like, and I'm not your dad, but from what I hear with SSRIs, my experience, they did nothing. But from what I hear from other people is it's like, okay, I was down here. This is neutral. And it brings me to like here. And, and then I just stay there.
Yeah. That's exactly what his experience has been based on his description of it to me. And yeah, we talked about my brother was stillborn at 37 weeks and 5 days. And that's something, I was 7, I think. And we've never talked about that as a family. Like, I don't know like what my parents were going through. I don't know what that whole, like, I was just a little kid, right?
Well, that's how I know to feel super good about stuff is just to never talk about it. Ever. Just let it. I find that when I leave old food just in the corner of my pantry, that it just stays there and nothing happens to it. It doesn't, like if I have like a steak and I just put it outside and I just leave it there, it just stays a steak, a fresh steak, and it just stays there and nothing happens.
all these people spend so much money on probiotics. If you just let shit grow on your food,
Yeah, exactly. It's
you'd be
actually
fine.
healthier for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's like
just
when I
better.
have a gaping wound, I don't actually address it or mention it or go to the doctor or talk about it or tell someone, "Hey, I have a gaping flesh wound." I just let it fester and rot on my arm until I need to either cut it off or die.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Um, yeah, it was just a really
Yeah.
cool opportunity to like get some insight into what that was like for my parents. Get some like obviously like I have my sister now because of that series of events. Like we would not have adopted my sister, which is fucking rad. And so she was there and like got to have a conversation and like experience that conversation about a series of events she was never there for, that like she never would have probably thought to process or like be with us as we were processing it.
I didn't know your sister was adopted.
Yeah, we adopted her when I was 10.
How old was she?
So the mom picked us while she was still pregnant.
Okay.
So we knew.
Newborn.
Yep. We got her, like picked her up from the
Got
hospital
it.
when she was 3 days old.
Got it.
Which she's known since day one. Like we've told her since she was like, we had a bunch of baby books that were like, "Hey, you're adopted and that's okay," kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but it was super cool to talk about that with them and to get that. It's fine. The validation from my dad's not the important thing, but it still felt really good to get that after like years of like, especially as a younger kid, like, "Dad, please love me. Dad, please tell me I'm okay." Like,
part of our responsibility once we have this thing is to be the example. And also have the awareness of like when I'm trying to be the example and I'm like, look at how fucking pious I am. Like, look at me. Like, oh, I'm so fucking good at this kind of shit. Like, and then, okay, now we're not really being the example anymore. So
that shift for me has been huge over, I would say, like the last 3 to 4 months, maybe 6 months of like.
It's because you don't really have it yet. It's like you don't really have, when you're wanting to like show everyone how hard you got it. It's kind of like when you like, let me put it this way. When I was making shit money, I did a lot of stuff to make it look like I was doing really well. Now that I'm making really good money, I don't care if I drive a fucking 10-year-old car. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't care that I have literally nothing on my walls. There's nothing here. I have an empty apartment. My apartment is nice.
Yeah.
Located is fantastic because I don't want to own a car and I like walking to things. But I don't need to go show everyone how much money I make. I just like saving money. It's a lot of fun. It's really funny that way. It's like, it's a big hat, no cattle, exact kind of thing. Like, folks that have like come from money for generations don't talk about how much money they have. They're very confident in the amount of how much money they have. It's not even a thing in their mind. And when we have this stuff, I don't need to go around showing everyone how pious or awesome my life is, which is why influencers, I don't really think any of them have their shit together at all.
I agree.
Because the thing that would inspire me to go show millions of people and get that validation to go be like, look at how amazing my whole life is. It's so, like, all right, man. All right, dude. How small is your dick? How small is it? Like, what are we compensating for here? So, how low is your self-esteem? And I'm not saying that to like be mean. I'm not saying that to like, I'm just saying like, that's just been my experience. The lowest my self-esteem has been is when I've been trying to like project the most big dickedness ever. It's like if someone makes fun of me for having a small dick, I'm just like, it's super tiny. It's like minuscule. It's like you should be. It's like yeah. It just like it doesn't matter. I'm very confident and comfortable with the size of my penis. It's like only if I am insecure about a particular thing does it really like I'm like I feel the need. Do I feel the need to like defend myself and get after it? So like sometimes someone will make fun of like if someone makes fun of the way I look, I'll get defensive. Be like, fuck you, bitch. Like I'm gorgeous. And that says a lot more about me than it does about them, right?
Indeed.
That's cliched, but true. So yeah, cool awareness there with your dad. That's a really awesome, just more evidence. It's not about like them saying the thing. I think we addressed it already.
Yeah.
So kudos for you, man. What else?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, there was another fun experience. I have been feeling pretty consistently hot and bothered, and there's obviously a way to take care of that on your own. Hot and bothered is.
Are you talking about horny? You're horny.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so okay, we can just use the words. We're grown men.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're not in a movie from the 30s. We can.
And yeah, that's been
you're horny.
Yeah, it's been coming up a lot.
You've been wanting to have sex.
Correct.
With women.
Yes.
I'm assuming.
Correct. That is a safe assumption. And there's a lady that I have no interest in relationship with, but I do find her incredibly attractive. And I went over to her place on Sunday, last Sunday. And I respect her a lot, like made some moves. We were doing.
Why do we have to fucking like all the caveats there?
I was going to say, I respect her a lot for her reaction, not because like I respect her as a person and like, she's like safe.
It's like
and
people can fuck and have respect for each other. It's not like guys don't have to just be, I'm just gonna fuck this bitch and like some fratty fucking douchey thing. It's like we can have sex, respect each other, care deeply about one another, and not be in a relationship. That's totally fine. Does that require more emotional intelligence? Yes, absolutely. Of course it does. But anyway, go ahead, continue.
So like nothing like much happened. But like I was very forthright in my conversation where it's like, hey, I don't want to be in a relationship. And I think you're really attractive. I think we would have a lot of fun. If that is something that you are interested in doing, like take your time to think about it. That's cool. But that's what I'm wanting. And so to just like have that as a conversation that a year ago I would not have been capable of having.
Honesty, regardless of how that pans out or how she takes it or whatever the outcome is, it's not really the important thing. It's how do I want to be in this world? So if she's like, fuck you, I want nothing to do with you. Like men only want one thing. It's disgusting. That's fine. Like I am being honest and true with my intentions. That's the important thing. I've said the same thing to the lady that I am currently seeing right now. It's like, I just got out of a 2-year relationship. I have no desire to get back into another relationship. I know you have other desires, but that's where I am currently at. And this was she was incredibly grateful for my being upfront, not leading her on, and being super honest. Now we smash on a regular basis. But she knows what the situation is and where I'm at, right? It's no guessing. I'm not leading her on. That's where I'm at. Maybe it'll change. I have no intention of it changing. But that's where I am. And oh man, it's like, wow. And it helps that she's like dating guys in Los Angeles and they're just like generally just giant pieces of shit. So and so like it's like, oh, it's refreshing. Oh, honesty and like, oh wow, integrity. It's like, yeah. So I have a better story too, where it's like I did just get out of a relationship and I have like you have no excuse, Jordan. You're just a disgusting man who only wants one thing, and it's disgusting.
And it's Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. Now here's the really important question before we get off: circumcised or uncircumcised?
Circumcised, because that is my experience in life as well. The
aesthetic, exactly. You got to have that nicely preened head of a penis showing, apparently. Yeah, same, exactly.
I did get a bug where I couldn't put pants on my character for a little bit, so my dick was just flailing around. It was fucking hilarious.
Mine was just shoes. I didn't have boobs or like
Yeah.
a dick hanging out. It was just they could, the shoes wouldn't go on. They were equipped, but they were so okay. He's just barefoot. I think he's
Yep.
kind of badass actually. He's
Yeah.
like, it's more ninja-like to not have shoes on, right? Roaming around. All right, sir. That is
Sir.
all the time that we have for today.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder what we're gonna go do with the rest of our day.
I'm gonna read a good book in Cyberpunk 2077 because there's lots of text to read.
There is so like, and it's actually well written and enjoyable for the most part. Yeah. But
Skip. Murder people. Snap some necks. All right, man.
peace, brother.
Take it easy. Later.